WWF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top flight journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out. Bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions. Fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
And good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, international football has finished and Palace is back. This is the Villa match preview. We're away to Villa at Villa Park this Saturday. I'll be honest with you, I'm not expecting anything from it. I just hope we don't get battered. But it is what it is. JC, how's it going?
Palace are getting battered. It is what it is. I'm good, man. I'm good. Long day at work, but it is what it is. Pays the bills. Who cares?
That's a fact. And it's been a long time, and we had to get Mr. Ghost Bunda himself.
Ghost Bunda. Bundia. Leon Bailey dancer. Can't point to the right
Leon
place.
Bailey one was funny.
Forfeit dodger. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely forfeit dodger. So, just quickly, actually, sorry, Martin, welcome back to the channel, my friend.
Good to be back. I was laughing at the intro. JC, if you ever do an intro, you're standing on a stool and doing the Jimmy Bullard again. I was just there laughing. You're 5'1" and you went on a stool and you were probably 5'2" after. So you didn't get much of a height difference with it.
Well, guess what? I did it at my wedding as well, so you can't. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, for real. But just quickly, for those who obviously don't understand what we mean by forfeit dodger, please explain to the community, Martin, what was supposed to happen.
First off, it's allegations. There's no actually law or efforts in behind this, but supposedly what was allegedly supposed to happen was there was a Diaby versus Havertz season, and Havertz, and the bet was, and that was between me and Ty. So the bet was, if Havertz got more goals than Diaby, I have to wear a Birmingham City jersey live on stream. And if Diaby had got more goals than Havertz, Ty would have to wear a Tottenham jersey live on stream. Now, these are allegations. Don't know what you're talking about.
We've got evidence in the WhatsApp group, mate.
You'll be going back a while.
Not for this screenshot.
I think they've been highlighted.
That's true. That's true.
Let's kick it off. Thanks again for obviously joining us. Like every time you've been on this stream, you've been clipped. So we'll see what happens today. Talk us through to your season. Obviously, first things first, you obviously must have been buzzing to make the Champions League, and I know that's going to obviously had an impact on your Premier League season this so far. So, like, what's the Premier League been for you, in your opinion?
Well, it started off on a high, didn't it? You know, we were in our first 5 games, we had 1-3, drew 1, lost 1, and on paper, when you look at the fixtures that we had in those first 5 games, I'd have taken that all day long, 100%. And then since then, we have gone on a bit of a dip. Now, I believe it's only a dip, and I was kind of glad this international break came around, because international break, as we all know, is like, it's not people's cup of tea, or it is some people's cup of tea, because when your team's in bad form, you want it to come around so you can kind of get back into the rhythm of things and just go over a few weeks of making sure it doesn't happen again. Or your team's on a high, international break comes and it just affects your whole rhythm. So for me, from the last few weeks, I was just kind of glad international break came, because we were in such a dip, you know, and that wasn't just the Premier League, it was the Champions League, there was the Carabao Cup against you lot as well, which was a great win for you. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything or make any excuses. You deserve to win. You were much better than us on the day. If we got something out of that, I would have said that's a very lucky win, but you did deserve it in the end. But yeah, with the Premier League, we've gone into a bit of a dip. like in one way, had we had won the 2 games before the international break, playing against Tottenham and Liverpool, even one of them, we'd be talking about sitting in 3rd place in the Premier League. But now we're sitting 9th because that table at the top end is so tight at this minute.
You mentioned their dip, and then you mentioned Tottenham and Liverpool. Why do you call it a dip when you think about the caliber of teams you've been playing against?
Well, when I think about when I say win one of them, I would have expected to beat Spurs, because you know what Spurs are like. They're either one week they're brilliant and the next week they're not great. Like we've seen it there, for example. They smacked us 4-1, but then they go and lose to Ipswich. It's just classic Spurs, isn't it? So it's not as if, when you talk about the caliber of teams, yes, in the Tottenham of old, I would have feared going to to their place, but I don't anymore. I don't fear going to Tottenham. I don't fear playing against Tottenham. We've actually got now a pretty good record ever since, probably ever since Unai Emery's came in. So I don't fear them. Liverpool was probably the only one I would have turned around and said, yeah, we're going to lose. But I just felt that we had a lot of chances in that Liverpool game and we didn't take them, because normally we would. And for some reason on that day, we just didn't take them and we got punished for it. That's exactly what happened. Liverpool caught us on the counter. And in fairness, when they had times their possession, they made a count and just saw us off. So that's why, and then I would call it a dip, because ever since we beat Bayern Munich, we've won games but weren't great performers. And I've always said if we played exactly like that against the bigger teams, we get punished. And that's exactly what happened. We got punished. And now, hopefully, from this international break, we can set things alight, make things right, and start again.
Yeah, I think there was a tweet from one of the Villa accounts, not the actual Villa, but like a Villa fan account, had mentioned that Emery was not happy with obviously the recent run of form and the way you're playing. What was it down to, like tactics, or was it just is there disharmony in the camp? I know I think Duran, it looked like there was a video where Emery wasn't happy with him. Like, do you know like why things have not been going well for you?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that again for me?
So there's rumours that Emery wasn't happy during the international break and just not happy with how you've been playing. So I was just wondering, is it something to do with like maybe tactics? Are the players tired because of Europe? Is there disharmony in the camp? You've had Emery, and there's a video of Emery and Duran. It looks like they weren't looking too good and stuff. Like, what's the reason why there's a dip in form?
Well, I think maybe it's got to do with maybe some players are complacent because they know they've had their spots solidified, which I think shouldn't be the case. But then you could also argue we've kind of rotated a lot as well in the last few games. I thought we were trying to be clever, which doesn't really work half the time. When I seen the team we played against you in the Carabao Cup, on paper that's a very strong second team, like absolutely. But it was still lackluster. You know what I mean? Like, we know now who the players are to be up to that level. We know who should be playing in the first team. And then we tried to rotate then against Club Brugge, and that was still a bit lackluster as well. So we were trying to be clever, in those few weeks, and I felt that we should have just played our strongest team regardless. Because you want match fitness, you need that. It's all good and well rotating maybe against teams that are probably a bit lower in the table, but when you're rotating against the likes of a Crystal Palace in the Cup, who were playing their first team against us, regardless of what team you had and what we had, you can only play against what's in front of you. But it was just that I think we were trying to be clever, and in the international break, Emery's putting in a lot of 12-hour shifts, trying to make sure everything's right, and he doesn't go into that little rut again. With Emery and Duran, there was in the summer that Duran obviously wanted to leave. He wanted to go to West Ham, hence why he was doing the whole iron sign. But then he's obviously turned that around. Maybe Emery sat him down, had a chat with him, promised him there was going to be more game time, and that's clearly what he's gotten. And he's taken absolutely every opportunity since. There's now been a big debate of, who do we start, Duran or Watkins, and that's, or can they play together? These are all things that were taken into account. So I think the issue with Duran and Emery has been resolved, for now anyway, because Duran, he's a character. He's a bit of a chaos character. He's one of them players where if he's happy, nothing's gets said, and when he's not happy, it's very loud. So we just kind of have to hope that we can keep him happy, and hopefully he can then keep scoring the goals and be on this good run that he's on all season.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's quality. I think Hernandez quality.
I know, and he's a second choice striker.
Yeah, he shoots with no backlift. He's a clinical finisher. JC, we'll obviously hear tomorrow from the presser regarding potential returnees, but who do you think may return? I think Hughes is the obvious one. Obviously, it's a suspension. But do you think we'll have any more back?
I have a feeling that Jefferson Lerma will be back. And I'll tell you why, because his injury wasn't actually that serious. I feel like he's been off for quite a while for something that was literally just a stretch. It wasn't actually a proper injury. Like when he was subbed off, when it happened, he walked off, and he's actually been gone for quite a while as well. So I reckon that they've sort of kept him in the back to keep him until he gets fit properly. So I reckon that instead of having a midfield of Mark Gay and Justin Devaney in the last game, I reckon that we're going to come into this game with Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma as our starting two. I'd start Lerma over Decore because I think Lerma has recovered a lot quicker, and he doesn't seem to get injured half as much as Decore. Much rather keep Decore in the back. He played 10 games. I think he played 10 minutes against Tottenham, and he played 20 minutes against Fulham. Hopefully he plays 30 minutes in this game, and then he might get a half, and then he might start and get 60, start and get 70, and gradually he'll build up that match fitness. So that's what I'd do with Decore. I don't think anyone else would be returning. The one that I'm really interested in is Munoz, whether he's going to play or not, because of this legal stuff that's going on with him. I reckon he will, because I don't think that it's that deep, and also it's only come from like one or two sources. But if you guys don't know, apparently there's some unpaid agent fees for when he transferred to Crystal Palace from Belgium. So whether that would keep him out of playing, I doubt it. But, I hope he plays. I'm sure he will. But that's probably the most concerning part of the squad right now, I would say.
Yeah, and on the back of that, just before we go into the comments, look, Gay and Devaney did okay. Like they did decent against Fulham. It's weird because if we had a starting midfield, I still think Fulham would have beaten us, but I think we would have put up a bit more of a fight.
I think the thing was when Glasner fixed up and realised it wasn't working, put Mark back, and then you had a midfield of Kamada and Devaney. That was atrocious. Bearing in mind, you had two midfielders. One of them is his Premier League debut, and the other one, he cannot play in the middle at all. And then you put them both together, and then you've got a strong Fulham with Iwobi in that middle, who was just running the show. It was a long day for us. We basically had no midfield. So, going from that to Hughes and Lerma potentially, or Hughes and someone else, Hughes and Decore potentially, or even Hughes and Devaney if you want to start him again. That's such a massive upgrade on what we had against Fulham.
Yeah, and I think we will need like a Hughes and a Lerma, because against Aston Villa, we need combative midfielders.
The press needs to be perfect.
When he plays well, Tielemans, technique's crazy. I know McGinn doesn't start as much because it's Kamara, but McGinn, I've always said he's a good player.
I think Onana's injured, so I do reckon that they'll play a midfield of Rodgers.
Who's injured?
Onana.
Kamara.
Onana.
Oh, geez, yes, they got Onana in it.
Yeah, I'm sure Onana's injured. I think Kamara isn't injured, so they'll probably play Kamara, Tielemans, and Rodgers in the middle. That would be my guess. But Kamara's still a good player. He's not Onana, but he's still a very good player. So we're going to need a lot of strength in that middle and people that can run and chase the ball. We need to press, and we need to press well in this game.
Yeah. All right, let's hit some comments. There's a few of them.
Big up Mike saying dreading the weekend. Big up the UK Pat. Big up Rich Martin, the proud Englishman. And
Now hold up, right there. Let's stop right there.
No,
oh yeah,
you
didn't this
watched
guy
it.
get
Let's
England
stop.
twice in the
Now UK
sweepstakes?
Pat's an OG, so I know where you got this joke from, right? See you, Rich Platini, and JC Blatter.
I
He was
even
giving me
remembers the
England.
old cusses.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this, right? And then you made what was his name again? He got Morocco. There was clearly racism going on in this. I'm getting England. He's getting Morocco. You even had the Mexican fella get USA. What was going on here? Oh. And pick up the Cameroon with the Colombian flag and all back in the day. Jesus.
That was the original. That was the OG.
Now that is
Listen-
back in the day. Like, I'm not even
listen.
reading that. I should just get rid of that. I don't even want to see that comment.
Some say it was the luck of the Irish. It was just the luck of the draw.
All I'm saying, yeah, is if
I don't think it's lucky getting England.
Martin, all I'm saying, yeah, is obviously the
If you had won,
sweepstakes.
oh
The sweepstakes
my
was a
gosh.
sweepstakes, and we said that you could have got the money and buy whatever shirt you want. But we would have bought you an England shirt. Like there's no doubt in that. We would have taken that right away from
No
you.
one, you were sweating, wasn't you?
Oh, if I had won that, I said this to all my friends and all, right? I says, by the way, if I win, I actually get to win in a jersey, whoever won. And they were like, who'd you get? I said, I got England. And he went, burn that thing to the stake as soon as you get it. Don't even wear it. Right? And gladly I would have come on stream and burnt it because I wouldn't have paid for it, so it wouldn't have bothered me. I was trying to convince Rich, just give me the cash for what it cost, and he was like, nah, I think I'll give you the jersey.
Yeah, you make good content.
Yeah.
Big up the man himself, Tiddles, enjoying the international break. Damn it. And also 5-0. Hold that from last season, by the way, not this season.
Why would you bring that up? We're not in good shape. For us to be throwing shade.
If we had an Ise,
Oh.
we had some bargaining power there, but we don't. The
So
dog.
you're bragging about a 5-0 when half our players were on the beach.
Yeah.
Actually, all the players are on
It
the
is
beach.
what it is.
Well, hold
We
on,
take
hold on.
what we can get.
Have you noticed that we haven't mentioned it?
Yeah.
And even
No, you
then,
haven't mentioned it.
Yeah. And we didn't even mention it then either.
Yeah.
We knew. We knew.
Yous are good. Yous are good.
Never been less excited for a Palace game. I have no faith, but what's good? Big up, Matt.
Hey, Matt, what's happening? Long time.
How are we? Villa to Pump Palace finally relegated. Yeah.
Do you know what's so mad? For the last 2-3 seasons, we have been crying for Everton to go down. And now the tables have turned.
I mean, it is what it is.
We are struggling.
They got away from the Grim Reaper. Let's hope we do as well. And finally, Tiddles is amazing. Cheers. Big up yourself.
Oh, boy. Right. We're going to do the combined 11. You know how it goes, Martin. But what I think, just to save a bit of time, I think you should just put the 3 Palace players in quickly and then build the rest of them with Villa.
Right, so
What formation?
starting
do you
in
want?
goals. Let's be real here, lads. Oh, wait, formation. What formation are we going with? Are we picking any or?
You can pick whatever you want.
Your choice, yeah.
Okay. Why don't we go for a 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, cool.
Sweet. In goals, let's just put Emi Martinez in there, shall we? Let's just not have any debates. Who's Matrin?
Brother, all these adverts, man. Okay.
Okay, I'm going from the defense, right? I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to put Konza at right back. I'm going to put Mark Gahey in centre back, right side. Pau Torres.
Quality, by the way. His passing range is
Adverts
stupid.
need to disappear. Left back.
Lucadinho.
Do you know how mad it is, JC, where we went from never getting fullbacks into last season being able to get our fullbacks into this season not getting our fullbacks?
On the right side of centre midfield, I'm gonna go with Lerma. Because I know I have to put 3 Palace players in here and I have to make room for some. On the left side of midfield, I'm going to go with Tielemans.
Bro, these adverts.
Oh, JC, did you mention that this has got nothing to do with injuries and stuff?
No, I just let him cook.
Wait, is Lerma injured?
No, I'm saying that no.
You can
All
put anyone
players,
in.
whether it's suspension, injured, whatever, anyone can go in. It's just the best.
Oh,
11
everyone's
that you
in.
can
Okay,
make.
okay,
Yeah,
right, fair enough. Left wing, I'm going to go with Eze. In the cam, Morgan Rogers. On the right, John McGinn. Now, up top, this is tricky for me, right? So don't type anything in just yet because I'm torn between Duran and Watkins. You know what? Based off this season and form, I'm going with John Duran.
That's a good team. So if everyone was fit, who would you replace here?
Who would I replace?
Yeah, so if everyone was fit and you could build like a full team, like both squads are fully fit, fully ready to go.
And do I still have to have 3 Palace players in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably
I
just
would
Torre,
probably...
and that's it for Lerma.
Yeah, but I think a partnership of Lerma and Tielemans just looks a lot better. Probably because Lerma is good on the ball and can break it up, where Tielemans can just do the ball work then.
Of course.
I know the core is good on that, but I just think it's probably a more suited partnership in there. Go away, you Matty. 120 million, that'd buy your football club. If I was changing anything, right, I would be taking out Konza. Oh, sorry, I'd be putting Matty Cash at right back. I'd get rid of Pau Torres and I'd put in Konza there.
Oh, you rate Konza more than Torres?
Yeah.
Does Konza
I do love Torres, but
I
I think Konza's so much better. He's been doing it under 3 different managers and he's been the mainstay of the team, so
I'll probably do that because Mark plays better on the left. That's a good team. I like this. Funny thing is, if you look at this season alone, Eze is probably the weakest player in this whole team.
yeah. Well, if there's anything you are changing, what are you changing?
I'd probably put Decore in for Lerma, but that's about it.
I would actually go back to your original back 4 and switch Mark with Lacroix, just based on the season.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll put Konza back on the right hand side because I think he's played well there as well, and then go Torres and Lacroix in the midfield in the middle. But yeah, Right, what is your thoughts going into this game? Right, your clear favourites. How do you see this game actually playing out? Do you think you would have fixed the issues from prior to the international break?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I would like to think that we have fixed our issues. I'd like to think that we can get the ball rolling, have a bit more intensity about our game that we've kind of missed in the last few weeks. You know, when I look at the players that went on to international duty, John McGinn's been flying. You know, Morgan Rogers got himself an England call up. So, and then obviously a lot of players kind of came back with niggling little injuries. So I know a few are not fit for this game, but I would be expecting somewhat a sharpish squad with a bit more intensity. I think Barkley's back fit again, so I think he'll probably start this game next to Tielemans. You know, I think he's more suited beside Tielemans than Kamara at this minute, because Kamara is obviously only coming back from an ACL injury. So I just think Barkley will probably get more game time than him at the moment. Defensively, I hope it's fixed, because we've been shaky. We've just been conceding goals after goals after goals. Good going forward, don't get me wrong, but we've been very leaky at the back, and that's a huge problem, you know, when you're in the Premier League, because when you're conceding a lot of goals and you're trying to outscore teams, that doesn't always work. You know, you need to sometimes take a 1-0 win when you have it, or if you're drawing 1-1 and you know you're not going to get the win, you just need to see them games out. So I think that's something I hope that we've kind of fixed. Like, you know, I know you have your issues as well at the moment, which I know you will touch on, but I'm confident going into the game, because we've now had a break and hopefully resolve our issues. And, you know, if not giving away anything in the score prediction just yet, but if we play to the level I know we can play, we will hop off you. But then if we back to this rutty old Villa, we'll be scrape win. I still think we can win either way, but it just depends what Villa we get on the day.
Yeah, and what's your fan base been like with obviously your recent dip? Like, are some like turning on Emery, which will be mad if they do, by the way, or are they turning on like specific players? Because like even you said, I'm not saying that you turn on Watkins, but you're now torn between the two. Are the fan base getting a bit like, or are they just chill?
I think with the fan base, we know that like I said, we've all gone into this a little bit of a rut, which I think is only the first time that's really happened. Like, you know, we've been on such a high for like pretty much 2 years since having Emery, and when you think about it, like, he's brought us from 17 to the Conference League, and the next season to bring us to, you know, the semi-final of the Conference League, and then get us top four into the Premier League, which has brought us into the Champions League and gone beating Bayern Munich and everything like that. So like, we've been on a huge high, and then we've gone on to this a little bit of a low, you know, which I know would upset a lot of fan bases within our camps. But at the end of the day, these things happen. We're going to get highs and lows in football, regardless of what manager you have. Look at Man City. They've been losing the exact numbers of games we have for the last few weeks. So yes, Man City are still high in the table because they've obviously had a great start. But when you look at it in the bigger picture, we had two very tough games in Tottenham and Liverpool. Because like I said, with Tottenham, you don't know what you're going to get. With Liverpool, they're flying at the minute. Like, just absolutely flying. And they don't look like losing, in my opinion, even though they did lose to Forest. But even at that, it just doesn't look like they're going to lose ever. But within our, like going back to our fan bases, like, normally our Villa fan base is very loud. It's, you know, we know when we're upset and we're not afraid to voice it. This time it's been a little bit more conservative. Yes, we've been upset and we're not afraid to say we're upset, but we're a little bit more conservative. We know that it's just a low point, and the international break came at such a right time. So hopefully issues are resolved, and if they are, happy days, we're back to the high that we know we can be. And then I say internally, what lows are you on, Matt? Everyone goes through them. Doesn't matter who we are. But when I'm talking about internally in the camp, then with Emery, his management staff, of course, the owners, there's no pressure, but Emery puts everything into so much detail. So clearly he's not happy with what's going on. So supposedly during the international break, he's been putting in 12-hour shifts, watching all his videos of what went wrong, what's gone right, trying to resolve anything down onto the training pitch, bringing it into the match games. So he's clearly putting in a lot of work to make sure that we don't get ourselves into a little bit of a rut. Like we've seen Man City there at the minute, they're in a rut. I know Matt said what lows are you on, but it doesn't matter what lows you have. Lows are low. Lose 2 in a row and it's a low. It's not just lose 2 games. Like we've lost the Champions League, we've lost the Carabao Cup in the first. Like we lost in the Champions League, we've lost in the Premier League, we've lost in the Carabao Cup. We've lost 4 games in a row now, and so have Man City. I know I keep bringing them into it, but you have to look at that picture though. So like, yes, I know where Matt's coming from, but I know we're in a rut. I would say probably low is the wrong word, but we're in a little bit of a game rut, which I hope can be resolved.
Just for those who don't know, Matt Smith in the chat, he's an Everton fan. He's an Everton fan, so yeah, he has been depressed for 7 years. JC, oh boy, right. Let's talk a bit about this.
Let's not.
Can you reel off? Can you reel off? Can you reel off our injuries?
Let's not.
Our injuries.
Injury slash suspension.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read Villa's first because I've got both the tabs open. So Onana's injured, Barkley is back, Matty Cash is potentially back, Kamara's potentially back, Toro's potentially back, Conte potentially back, Maatson potentially back, and Jacob Ramsey is injured. So they've really got only 2 injuries, but they'll probably rest a few of their other players just due to not wanting to risk them. Going on,
test and everything else, yeah.
Going on to Crystal Palace, the Brazilian that's played a few games, França, injured, Kamada, 3-game suspension. Is this a blessing in disguise? That's what some people on Twitter are saying. I think that's rude, by the way, but it is what it is. Chadi Riyad, injured.
Someone said make it 7. Someone on Twitter actually said make it 7.
Shout out Bentancur for getting 7 games. Chadi Riyad, injured. Adam Wharton, injured. Will Hughes is back from his suspension. Jefferson Lerma is potentially back. Eze is potentially back, but I don't think we will risk him because he's built like a quaver. On here, it says Edward Nketiah, full name, injured. Rob Holding, the bench, the under-23s, long day. He ain't playing. So we got a lot of players not playing in this game. And even though we may have some that are coming back, we ain't going to risk them because it's not worth it.
Exactly that. And it literally, I think we can tell you now, mine, what our starting lineup's going to be, bar 1 position. Maybe 2, because obviously we're not sure about the midfielders who's going to be back. But it will be Dean Henderson in goal. Our back 5 won't change. Munoz, potentially, because JC has a theory on this, but Munoz, Chalobah, Lacroix, Gahey, Mitchell. If it is the 2 in midfield, it will be Hughes, and I'm saying question mark, because like I said, it could be Lerma, could be Davedi, could be Decore. Decore might actually get his first start. We don't know. Or second start. On the right hand side is going to be Sarr. Up top is definitely going to be Mateta. And then we've got our biggest question mark. Biggest question mark. We want a certain youth player to play. However, it might be Jeffrey Schlupp.
Jeffrey Schlupp.
Will Agbenone finally get his start, JC?
He better, because from what I saw in that Fulham game, Jeffrey Schlupp played 20 minutes of football in a forward position and was less productive than Agbenone, who was on the pitch for 3 minutes. Statistically, worse. The eye test, worse. The buffet test, way better. Because he... Nah, no, I'm not doing that again. But, Martin, a professional footballer, looks like he could defeat Man versus Food. That's all I'm saying. And that is Jeffrey
I thought you were about to call me a professional footballer for a second. I was like, where are you going with this? I'm on the podcast and you're calling me a professional footballer. Because you just said Martin, professional footballer, and then like had a
Jeffrey
good pause for like a minute.
He's a professional footballer, but he looks like he could give Man versus Food a run for his money. My guy runs onto the pitch, and he's already finished. I never see him warm up, and he's already finished. I don't get what Schlupp does to get himself on the pitch before anyone else. Literally, he is so bad when he comes on the pitch. There's literally nothing that any youth player, even playing a youth player out of position, would still play better than Jeffrey Schlupp. There's literally no reason to put him on the pitch. Like, absolutely none. Like, Agbanoni will do... Agbanoni, like I said, he was on for 3 minutes against Fulham. And he had more dribbles, more completed passes, more take-ons, and he actually made a key chance. Schlupp had none of that, and he was on for 20 minutes.
Fine, I'm telling you this for free. If he does play, and granted that's put a lot of pressure on the young lad, but you will see hands-on how good this kid could be. That's how confident I am personally about him.
If he plays,
he might get wrong. He's young, but he just has this raw Wilf Zaha-esque ability. I think we just need to give him games now, especially with all these injuries. Just play him. But we'll see.
Jeffrey, Schlupp.
Yeah. Obviously, I know obviously JC and Dan went through Tactical Tuesday night about how I personally think there's only two ways we can approach this game. We can't be in between. We have to make a decision on it right from the jump. We either press Aston Villa like how we did in the Carabao Cup, or we sit back and play on the counter because they do like a high line. Those are the only two. If we try this mid-block against Villa, they are going to bop it around us and we won't touch the ball for 90 minutes. I'm just letting you know.
If you try to press against us in our fourth team now, not the second team that just played against, I do think we can pass around that.
Tactics are still tactics. You still play a similar way. Granted, some people
very true. They do play their parts.
Some people do it better. I'll put my hands up and say that. But yeah, that's it. We've got to either press. I'd rather us play on the counter because although Pau Torres is superb with the ball in his feet, in my personal opinion, he is slow in the other direction, and that's where we could possibly get a bit of joy. But yeah,
I don't know. I would go the other way, but I would press in a more, I wouldn't say a little bit more cautious manner, but I would press different players differently. Like, I wouldn't press Konsa and Pau Torres like a madman because they're both, I guess, press proven. They can both use both feet and they can both make a yard and then make a pass. However, the fullbacks is different story. If Konsa's out wide, then you can't do it. But if Carlos is in the middle, I don't think he's as good on the ball as the other two. So he could be someone. Matty Cash, very, very right-footed. I'm not saying he's bad on the ball, but he's not as good as Konsa and Torres. Same thing with Digne. He's extremely left-footed. He's a lot like Mitchell. If you block off that one pass down the line, he struggles a little bit. So if you try and show him to his right foot, you can maybe target your press out wide, because if you can do that, because their fullbacks go up so much, if you can nick the ball out wide and we can overload into the box, they'll probably only have 2-3 players maximum running towards their own goal, and that's where you could hit him with the speed of Sarr to run straight down the wing and hit the cutback. So that's what I'd say. I'd probably go forwards, but target different players in different ways.
Yeah. Well, I think one last thing regarding this is if we do deploy the press, back in the day, we'll be very worried about Watkins' pace the other way. However, I think we've got 3 centre backs that are really quick. So
But I do
it'll be a
think
risk. It'll be a risk because Watkins is a clever player, especially he
Mhm.
plays off the shoulder and stuff. So it'll be a risk, but it's not. And no disrespect to Anderson, but Anderson couldn't catch him up.
I think what
Like-
what I would say is I think Watkins is also smart enough to pick on the weakest out of the 3, and he would pick on Chalobah because Chalobah in the last 2 games he's made 3 mistakes and we've conceded 3 goals. Purely him, and I think that gets overlooked a little bit because of he has been good, but he has dropped clangers in almost every game he's played. So I reckon that Watkins, if he's going to run off the shoulder, he's going to pull out to that right-hand side where Chalobah is, and also it'd allow him to cut in on his stronger foot if he does get into a shooting position.
Yeah, which is fair. Which is fair. I think we'll have to just maybe make sure the midfield's congested. Let them use the fullbacks. Let them use the fullbacks, and hopefully we can defend the crosses.
This is why I
Because if
think
we let
Lerma
them
will be
play-
important as well in this game.
If we let them play through us, like I said, this could be a goal fest.
But
to be
both
honest.
teams are vulnerable in the transition. Both teams are very vulnerable.
No, facts. Well then, Martin. Let us out of our misery. What's your score prediction?
For this game, I'm going to go with 3-1 Aston Villa. I think the goals are going to come from Watkins, Morgan Rogers, and John McGinn. And I think because we've been leaked at the back, that you are definitely going to get a goal. I think Eze will score for us.
You think he'll play?
I don't think he'll play.
Oh, sorry, Eze's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Coming back.
Sorry, I got him mixed up with someone there. Who scored for
Racist
you?
man?
I got Mark Ahey. Mark Ahey from the corner.
2 and 2
Yeah.
for Mark.
Hey, why not?
Hi, he'll be top goal scorer if he scores. He's already got 2 goals this season. Mateta's got 3, so joint with the
that's
top
a good
goal
point.
scorer.
I'm gonna go. I've said 3-1 as well to Villa. I don't know who the scores will be. I just think it'll be a very comprehensive performance.
I said on Tactical, I said 2-0 to Villa. And I tell you why. They've been struggling at home a little bit with their last 4 games. Didn't win. They're going to win. They've been very leaky for the last few games. They're going to keep a clean sheet. They haven't had a convincing performance.
You're on about the Crystal Palace given vibes, are you?
They're going to be consistent in this game. As Nate would say,
Charity
Charity Professional Football Club. We are back. We've missed it in this international break, and we are here. CPFC. 2-0 to Aston Villa.
Let's close out with the.
And again, though, the score might not be that bad because Kamada's not on the pitch.
Did you hear the silence when you said that? Hang on, Rich. Don't say anything just yet.
Yeah, I don't have a goal.
Hang on, JC, hold on. Did you not hear the silence? You know them movies where you just see the desert and that just little bit of bush just rolls by? That's exactly what that sound was when you said Kamada's on the pitch.
Let's end up with some comments. And Martin, well done. You haven't been clipped this time. You've done well.
Yeah, for once.
I mean, to be fair, if his camera wasn't so laggy, that sound effect would have been funny. But it is what it is. What's the deal with Kamada? Is he injured? No, he's suspended. He got a straight red. No, not yet. There are some people in this fan base that do think this way, though.
Actually, let's talk a little bit about that. Actually, because I have heard some of the Palace families or the Palace fans saying that they want Glasner out. But what's your guys' objective collectively as a group from this podcast? Are some of yous out, or are some of yous still want them to be in the job?
I think all of us are still
Glasner in.
Glasner in.
Yeah. We don't. He's made stubborn decisions. I admit that, but he literally was screwed over in the summer
Mhm.
by our board.
And also, he's the
Our
first
transfer
player.
window was stinky.
He's also the first manager.
You know, I agree with you
Or
because you just
question
lost a
himself.
lot more than what came in, and what just brought in didn't really do any
Nowhere
improvements. To
near
be honest,
match. Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
And also, he's the first manager to ever make the board look at themselves.
It did, yeah. The board actually came out and said, maybe we should have done better in the
Yeah,
summer.
we're going to back him in the January, but everyone's worth more in January, so it don't matter. Next comment actually leads into that quite nicely. And another question: is Mark leaving in January? If he doesn't
Yep.
sign that contract, he has to.
He's gone.
Really and
He's
truly, he
gone.
has to. He's only got 1 year left on his contract at the end of
Yeah.
this season.
I take him. I take him.
Now-
Villa,
now,
no problem.
hear
We'll look
me out.
after him.
Hear me
We'll
out.
look after him.
I think he's gone. And now I'm starting to believe the Mudryk rumors a bit more. Because I think that money will be used to buy Chalobah and then reloan Mudryk. I don't know why, but it's starting to align a little bit. But
I
we'll
have
see.
an
We'll see.
unpopular opinion about Mudryk. I think he'd be class for Palace.
Yeah, counter-attacking football.
Bare pace. But I know it'll turn us into P and PFC, but Sarah on one side and Mudryk on the other. Brother, the ball in behind, they're gone.
Every time.
Yeah. Oh, what? We have the ball? Pew! Yeah, incredible. I can't even hype stop playing. I feel embarrassed to even say his name. Asher has to start. Asher is Wilf 2.0.
He does. He is.
Rather anyone play than Schlupp. Rhythm is a dancer. Jeffrey Schlupp is the answer. He is. We have to go full Roybal and hope for the best. I mean, to be fair, we tried that and then Villa scored 3 goals in 5 minutes at the end of the game. So it is what it is.
Most frustrating.
I think Kamara's going to score against Villa. Oh, wait. Big up, Joe.
Hey, the best keeper out there.
The form, incredible. That's all I'm saying. And Tiddle says that pace.
Well, what I'll do tomorrow, if I'm not too busy, I'm doing a lot of painting and decorating at the moment. I may try and release a short on Glasner's presser because I think we're all going to be waiting on bated breath to know who's actually back. So if I could find a spare minute whilst at work, I'll release a quick short just updating everyone on that. Other than that, Martin, please shout out where everyone can find you.
Well, you can all find me on Twitter, which my name is at Marto Leonardo. I'm not going to point a little symbol just in case I get it wrong for a clip.
Don't worry. I can only see pictures.
Yeah. I'm part of the Villa Park podcast, which is obviously hosted by Rich. So you can find us there on YouTube, Twitter, by just typing
Not me,
in
by
Villa
the
Park
way.
podcast.
A different Rich.
Which you can find us there and just see us talk about Villa.
Go on, Martin, give us a point. It's just
For old time's sake.
Give you what?
a point.
A point.
Name
This
point.
guy
Point
is
of what?
clueless.
The name point, this.
Oh. No, I don't want to do it. No, I'm scared to do it because the two of you got it right straight away. Hang on. There. It's wrong, isn't it? Did I get it?
No,
you're good. You're good. You're good.
he did it very, very slowly. We'll say that because he went like this. He went.
Yeah, I got,
So if he messed it up, he
yeah,
could
I
have
was
gone.
like, I got it, didn't I? I hope I got it.
You
If
did,
I
you
didn't
did,
get it and
you
you go
did.
back for clip, I'm killing you.
No, you're
Time
good.
to reverse the camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, big up Martin, JC. Look, please enjoy tomorrow. It's Friday. Please enjoy your Saturday. Go do shopping. Um, spend time with the family.
If you're going to
Turn up-
Villa, wear a jacket. It's cold.
Yeah. Turn off sofa school notifications and enjoy your Saturday. And then just at 5 o'clock, just quickly go and have a look at her. Yeah, figured out as much. You'll be less depressed.
Yeah.
Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. And as always, guys, appreciate you.
And if you
Up
want us
the
to
palace.
share and have another mental breakdown, watch the instant fan cams. Up the palace.